try it one more again. We're going to do a different camera, use a different setup, and we're going to see if this works. I really wanted to go live from my laptop because people had comments earlier today. And so if we can't get in through here, then this is gonna be something on Facebook.
But you probably maybe you can still read them from there.
Yeah, but see it on my phone. Oh, you know what? Never mind. You're right.
Yeah,
Okay, can you guys hear us this time? Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? We are sorry for the technical difficulties. Something happened. We don't know what happened.
Can you guys hear us? Okay, she can hear us. Gigi says she can hear us. All right, so we's back. We on. We gonna start from the top, y'all, because y'all missed some stuff at the top we needed to share.
Yeah.
All right. So we in here. All right, Chris, content warning. What content warning?
Yeah.
Folks.
Yeah. Content. EDP 365 covers topics with EDP 365 covers topics. This is bloopers. EDP 365 covers topics with explicit and strong language and is intended for mature audiences only. Topics may be sensitive to some, and everyday people may not agree with the views expressed on this discussion, but please keep in mind, we're giving you the point of view of everyday people with everyday situations, and EDP 365 is not afraid to go there.
All right. And we're not, I don't know what happened, y'all, but we had some difficulty, so we're going to take it from the top. For those of you who don't, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Les.
And I'm Chris Styles, and we're Everyday People, EDP 365 on Facebook Live.
All right, so to bring y'all up to speed, what I am drinking tonight this is chocolate wine. You guys have seen me drink this before, so I'm not going to get the bottle unless somebody wants to see it. I mixed it with a little bit of milk so it'll taste like chocolate milk, so this is good.
She said Merc.
Hell no, I didn't. I said milk, M-I-L-K. I know there's no U or R in the word.
Or,
all right.
Or E, Merc.
Yes, exactly. So let's do this. Let me do this first before we get into tonight's topic. And it's a really good topic, but I do need to share this. I was saying this in the show earlier when we thought you guys could hear us. But for anybody who's been following us, if you ever caught the Blog Talk Radio when we were doing that, and a lot of you have heard me talk about my good friend Todd Moody, who I've known since I was 15. We've been friends since I was 15 years old. His son was killed on last Thursday. If anybody heard on the news about the young man who was shot, I think it was in Midlothian Village or close to Midlothian Village, he was shot. And I ask you all that you please keep my friend and his family and his son's family in prayer. Again, you know, he lost his 21-year-old son. And again, like I said, I don't even want to begin to imagine, you know, what that's like to have to go through to lose your child. I can only imagine right now there's just like a part of your soul, you know, your heart has been ripped from you. So please, you guys, keep Todd Moody in prayer. Also, we had someone who was on the show when we first started. The topic was drugs and incarceration and coming home and going through that whole process. And his name is Jawad Abdul, and he passed as well. I don't know what the details are. I just happened to see it on the news the other day. So yes, prayers for all, peace and blessings, fam. So y'all, if we could just take a moment of silence for all of those who have lost loved ones. So we'll just take a moment.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so I don't know if Baskerville and Gigi are still watching, but if you are, I want to say a big thank you to you guys. Thank y'all so much for donating to the CNL Woman to Woman Conference. We greatly appreciate it. Your donation has made a difference in us making this event a success.
Thank
Anyone
you.
else who wants to donate, gift
Thank
a ticket, you want to participate in the brag bag, you want to donate an item for the raffle, please let me know. But I'm going to get to that later in the show. Something else I want to share with y'all really quick. Today I got this email at work and it says news release, Social Security. Social Security Awareness, new online service for replacement Social Security cards in Virginia. I don't know how to feel about that, guys. I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm just going to read just a few highlights. Now, this is what you have to do if you need to get your Social Security card online. U.S. citizens age 18 or older and who are residents in Virginia can request a replacement Social Security card online by creating a My Social Security account. In addition, they must have a U.S. domestic mailing address, not require a change to their records such as a name, and have a valid driver's license or state identification card in some participating states. I don't know about that, and I think if I, God forbid that I lose my Social Security card, I'm sorry, I'm going right on down to the office.
Right.
I am not.
I know I would.
I am not doing that online. I mean, we do so many things online, and that's what that's the society that we live in now, and that's what we're used to. But that one, I don't know. I have some feelings about that. I don't know.
And you know, I definitely have some feelings in regards to that. For one, is because from all the major companies that I deal with for e-commerce, for having credit cards to banking account cards, I think out of the ones that I do have, there's only been 4 that have not been hacked or hit, or they send you some type, it's not been on the news or been some information that's been sent to my email and mailbox stating that there has been a hack or a breach. They only tell you specific details. They don't go into too much detail on how far it goes, and they don't know who has the information or what it's being used for. But they also say, oh, can you, just keep a monitor or watch on, your credit score, your credit, TransUnion, Experian, those, etc. Keep a watch, keep a report, and keep a watch on your credit report, just due to those type of things, because there has been breaches like all over the place. And this is one of the reasons why I don't particularly like that. Although it's an inconvenience for me to drive way the hell out the bumfuck to put a new application and put all the other shit in to get a new card, but it's well worth it as opposed to doing the online thing, because the online thing is it's an awful thing sometimes. It's good, it's convenient, it's right here, it's right now, but sometimes hackers are able to, when you check it out or you finish your order, they attach something to that last piece, maybe the simplest piece to access, and they get in and they go to the back door and get your information.
All right. So yeah, y'all check that information out, and you can actually go to, let me see if it's on here. You can go to www.socialsecurity.gov/myaccount and check that out. Yeah, but I don't think that's anything I'm going to be doing. I think I'll just go to the Social Security building. All right, so tonight's topic, guys, if you are in a relationship, should you entertain new friendships? Now, I'm going to do something tonight that we don't normally do, and that's only because, and that's because I was trying to use my phone tonight and the laptop, but they got reversed, so I need to read the comments so I can actually look at the show over here on my laptop. So, again, let me just read this first. And this is from firstthing.org. As people marry later in life, many are bringing long-term opposite-sex friendships into their marriage relationship. While the friendships were great during singlehood and marriage, these relationships may prove problematic. However, I believe out of respect for your spouse that even if you were close friends before the marriage, there ought to be strong boundaries around that relationship. So what I'm going to do is read the comments from today's promo. All right, the first one is from Kimberly Johnson, and she says, Friends, not really. Business ships, absolutely. Plus, it also depends on the level of the relationship you're in. If you are only casually dating or talking, it isn't disrespectful to acquire new friends. If you are exclusively dating, you may want to talk about it with each other and see where you both stand. But if you are in a long-term relationship, marriage, partnership, then no. I stick to my original statement, new friendships should be made together. Alright, so Kula came with 2 comments. Kula said, yes, don't know if that relationship gonna last, but the friendship might. Plus, the opposite sex can help get a good POV of your new relationship. That's gonna be point of view.
Right.
Alright. Kula's second statement was, never stop what I would normally do for a man, woman, if they are meant to be in your life. They will know how to handle what you got going on. I think there's going to be a lot of mixed opinions on that tonight. All right, so Tamika said, I think trust, open communication, and maturity level are major factors included in how this matter is handled.
Mika Mills.
All right, so Ash, our ACH, said, so when you're in a relationship, and Kula is a honorary co-host as well. Ashley says, so when you're in a relationship, the only person you can deal with is your partner. I guess you stop being human. That's the reason people don't want to be in relationships. I trust my spouse to respect himself, me, and our relationship by setting boundaries. If he meets someone he wants to be friends with, I expect him to handle it properly. For two mature adults, this is simple. Okay.
Excellent.
Now I'm surprised. I'm surprised Ashley said that.
Damn.
I am so surprised that Ash said that.
WTF.
All right. So Kanye, who is our sex expert to the show, said, entertaining a new friendship of the opposite sex is okay if it's a shared friendship. I can't see a new friendship needing to be forged with the opposite sex that isn't interested in knowing both parties. I'm okay with my husband having opposite sex friends, but if it grew inside of our marriage, I'd be a part of it. Me and her don't need to be BFFs, sharing secrets and all, but we definitely don't need to be enemies either. All right. So, let me share a little bit more.
That's right.
All right, for example, I would not be comfortable with my husband meeting a woman for coffee on a regular basis to talk about what is going on in his life. That is a conversation he ought to be having with me. It is possible for married people to have healthy opposite sex friendships. However, give special consideration to a number of factors that, if ignored, can potentially threaten your marriage. All right. So, you getting ready to say something?
I'm going to say something briefly. I'm going to put on my motherfucking shades because it's about to get hot in here.
Oh my God.
For one, Les, facts. There was somebody I was dating one time, and I told them the only reason why you tripping right now is because we're not in a good space.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Prior to that, I said if you remember when you met me, prior we had all this, I had all this interactions and that and the third. When you was happy, all was good. But as soon as you not happy, now everything else go the fuck out the window. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. But I do want to say this. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I don't think that it should actually take place. But because I'm a realist, the reality of it is that there are times and circumstances when you, and everybody else, there are times and circumstances where you are going to meet and interact and have a growing relationship with the opposite sex that may turn into a friendship, brothership, sistership, entrepreneur type of shit. But it's going to happen. And your mate is going to have to be okay with that. Because without it, we all need each other to some capacity. It's about discipline. And this is just in my opinion. This is just life experiences that I'm sharing with you. You can agree to disagree, but no man or no woman can be my everything, your everything, or we not be able to provide all the answers to fix all and be all 100% of the time. I'm just saying this is based on reality, not the constructs of your goddamn mind.
Ooh.
Alright? I didn't say G-O-D, G-O-T, okay? But I'm just saying, sometimes you have to get out of your head, you have to get out of the constructs of what you're being taught. If something else is happening and going on, trust and believe it's going to be presented and shown to you in some way or another. I don't worry about that shit.
Alright, so, I have so many opinions on this, and let me share Ashley's comments, because I want to make sure we capture comments, because lately we haven't been capturing all the comments. So Ash said, y'all know I'm crazy about my man. However, my crazy comes out when boundaries are crossed. People can maintain friendships with the opposite sex and it be healthy. It's unrealistic to think your partner is your only friend. All right, so my thoughts are, it really depends. I think, one, you do have to set boundaries. And I'm going to read a whole lot more because I found a lot of good articles, y'all, on our topic tonight. If the friendship is already established, that's one thing, but I think sometimes even those things can be questioned. I remember being in a relationship, and what's so funny is that the person knew Todd, and they turned it into, what's going on with you and him? Why you and Todd this, or why you and Todd that? But me and Todd had been friends, before I got into the relationship with Chris. Me and Chris have been friends for a number. And we have been friends for a number of years. And so I think if anybody who comes into my life that wants to be my man, and he had a problem with Chris, I don't really know how the relationship is going to last, because if I already have established friendships, I can't really see myself cutting it off unless it's some kind of threat where me and dudes sleeping together or something. But I think it depends on the relationship. I think it depends on how secure you are in your relationship. If you are a person who's insecure in your relationship, you're going to have an issue with any person that your mate comes in contact with. Facts. In a relationship, my crazy ass went through my phone and took out all the men's numbers that he did not know. One day I was looking for a telephone. I was like, yo, what happened to... And I started looking, he had deleted all the telephone numbers. And so, I think it depends on the relationship. Sometimes it matters if it's a husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend. Sometimes that makes a difference. Now, it's one thing if the friendship is already established, but if it's a brand new friend, that could be kind of tricky, and I think it depends on what that level of friendship is. If you're working with somebody, you can't help but be around them. When I was working for the Department of Social Services, there was a gentleman, and we worked closely together. We were the only two facilitators for this program, and we had to work together every single day. We had to do the presentations together. We had to work closely together. So, of course, we had some sort of relationship. We weren't super best friends, but we formed a friendship, a work friendship out of that. I'm gonna read some more before I go on.
Yeah,
all right.
She Cooler comment too.
So go ahead, read Cooler's comments.
Cooler said, and she says, I respect my male friends' relationship because I respect and support women. That I can attest to. That's just who she is. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. That doesn't have anything to do with anything else. But as far as me being around her peoples, it is what it is. She said it's just straight what it is. Has nothing to do with no funny business, all that other shit. If that shit happens and goes on, it's outside of my view, my watch. I ain't seen shit.
All right, so Kula also said, my friendships tend to last a lot longer than my relationships. Ashley said, that's the only reason I'm not stroking anyone's ego. If you attempt to cause problems, you have to go. But I'm not cutting ties simply because it causes a threat to your man. I want to go back to to Kula's comments. I respect male friends, relationships, because I respect and support women. And here's the thing: women can be bitches. Women can be bitches.
Niggas too.
I can recall me and Big Will being out one night, and you know we chilling, we having a good time. So this and this is how you know somebody young and dumb. But anywho, so the girl comes up, she speaks to him, says nothing to me, and walks off. Now, you know, at this age, I pick and choose my battles. Whatever. I know you young and I know you're an idiot. Anytime that I go out and I see a dude with his lady, I may not speak to her first. I'm not. It's just not gonna happen. I'm not gonna speak to her first. Y'all have seen Chuck watched the show. He doesn't watch it a whole lot, but Chuck has been one of the people who engages in the conversation. And I was out with Big Will, and Chuck and his girlfriend were in the booth behind us. So I walked up. I said, "Hey, Chuck, how you doing?" I immediately turned to his girlfriend and said, "Hey, how you doing?"
Respect.
And that's what you have to do. But again, you got these dumb broads, and I'm say broads, and that ain't even a word that I use. We got these dumb, disrespectful broads who, and that's, we're gonna have a topic on that, because should your man do something in that situation, or should the woman do something in the situation? What she do? But anyway, because we got a lot of comments. All right, it's those stank ass fake friends that you have to watch out for, because they are snakes trying to come in on some disrespectful shit. All right, that was coolest comment. Ashley said, "I'm glad my male friends also respect my husband as well. Now we got a problem." And see, that's the thing. You have to also command respect. You know, you have to say, "Hey, this is Chris, blah, 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 blah." Or, "Hey, this is Les, blah, 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 blah." Don't be the person that engages in the disrespect. All right, so I'm going to read some more comments.
And it's crazy because if I have not matured in myself, well, I'll be motherfucking bottom of the ocean deep in that shit.
Really? All right. So if you're wondering whether or not a close friendship with someone of the opposite sex poses a threat to your marriage or your relationship, answer these questions. If you answer yes to any one of them, there's a problem. Is your mate unaware of your opposite sex friendship? Would you behave, this is a good one, would you behave differently around your friend if your partner were present? Would you feel uncomfortable if your fiance or spouse had the same quality of friendship with someone of the opposite sex? And sometimes that's what you have to do. Sometimes you have to say, "Well, damn, if he was doing that, how would I feel?" Well, damn, if she was doing that, would I be angry or would I be okay with that?
A lot of people don't use that philosophy.
And they order. Keep you from doing shit.
I put the shoe on the other foot.
And it keeps you from doing shit. Because, you know, sometimes I have to say, "Well, damn, how would I feel if he did that?" I'm going to have to rewind and not do that bullshit. All right. Do you ever compare your mate to your friend? Have you ever entertained romantic fantasies about your friend? Do you and your friend ever exchange highly personal details about your lives or complain about your relationship to each other? All right, so if you answered yes, then your friendship may be a threat to your marriage. All right, it is helpful to discuss the nature of your friendship on a regular basis with your spouse. If not, keep it in check. A totally innocent relationship can end up causing unnecessary harm to your marriage. It could. Those things can cause harm to your relationship, but it can come from either end. If you're not giving your mate the respect that they are due, when you're dealing with other people, that's a problem. But when you're the person in the relationship and you're insecure and every friendship bothers you, why are you friends with this person? Why you walk down the street with him? Why you had to give him your email address? Why is he calling you after 5 o'clock? Why did she call you back to find out whether or not you can fix her sink? And so, you know, you have to look at it from both angles, not just the person who has the friend. You have to look at your behaviors as well.
But you know what, Les, before you go to the next statement, I would tell you, a lot of men and a lot of women, the only power that they have or they believe or think that they have in a relationship is either to nag or constantly berate somebody else. Like you're in control, like you breaking them down to be where you're at. And it's a negative consequence to being and doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. But I will say, if it's a negative consequence to what I just said, if the person who's coming to you about those things is not true, there's going to be a negative consequence sooner or later. But if it is true, and you have a human being with a conscience and a heart, they'll change their ways and adjust and get back to what they need to be doing, as opposed to allowing this to happen.
Now this sounds like something that would come from Ashley's household or Ashley or Kay's household. I think it's okay to have a friendship with the opposite sex, but I don't share with other women what I haven't shared with my wife. I think sometimes it is healthy to, just that part, y'all, that sounds like something that would come from your household. I think sometimes it is healthy to get input from another female, but on a regular basis, I should not be sharing intimate issues with a woman who is not my wife. Let me say this real quick. What I don't like is, I don't like for men or women to bash their mate to somebody else. If you still staying in that situation, work it out, do whatever. But when you start saying, because I had one friend, and this was such a fucking mess. It was a mess. But I had one friend, her dude was cheating with somebody that I know. Not cool. And I mean, I had nothing to do with this. I just happened to find out by coincidence. So the person that he was cheating with was just coming to me telling me all this stuff about the girl who is my friend. He said she lazy, she this, she that, she don't do this, she don't do that, blah 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 blah. And she was telling me things. There were other things that she was telling me, not really in reference to her, but the situation as a whole. I was like, well, damn, he is spilling all the beans. And so
he must be frustrated like a motherfucker.
But I was just sitting like, well, damn. Alright, so look, let me share this. Alright, tips to help you manage opposite sex friendships so they don't threaten your marriage. Develop and consistently nurture a best friend relationship with your mate. Develop and consistently nurture close same-sex friendships. Make sure your spouse knows your friend. That's important. Make sure your spouse knows that person, or at least make mention of it. They may not meet that person, but make sure they're aware of who the person is. Honor your spouse's wishes concerning your friendship. So here's a question for y'all as I'm reading. What do you all think should happen if your mate says, and I'll just use me and Chris as the example. My man says to me, you know what, Les, I don't like that nigga. I don't like that dude. It's something about that Chris I don't like. I think you should stop being friends with him.
If you don't like me, he a bitch.
Oh my gosh. Listen to this one, Chris. Avoid close opposite sex relationships if you are struggling in your relationship or marriage. Address unmet needs and unresolved anger in your marriage with your spouse in an open, honest, and timely fashion. Because what happens with that is, especially if it's a new friend, you sitting and you sharing all your woes. Oh my gosh, he's not taking me out like he used to. He's talking to me dirty. I know he deal with other women. You know, he just not doing the things that he used to do, and blah, 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 blah. Well, he's eating it all up. Not all the time, but a lot of the time, he's eating that all up. Come here, girl. You know you beautiful, right? It's going to be all right. I got your back.
You got my back?
You can call me anytime.
I'm beautiful.
Day or night.
I'm calling you?
You can call me. You can, look, come here. You can lean on my shoulder. They eat it up. And so, when they start talking to you, and maybe this wasn't your intention, because sometimes we need to vent, but sometimes you got to watch who you venting to. But that opens that door where now this new friend has got your attention. And he's giving you what the man ain't give you, or she's giving you what your woman not
filling
giving
the cracks, filling the space.
They filling that void. And that opens the door to disaster. So I'm going to go back and say this. It really depends, but you got to be careful with those new friendships. Me and Chris, we've been friends forever. But if a new dude come along and I'm in a relationship, I'm married, whatever the case may be, why is this dude my friend? Why do we have to have conversations at 8, 9 o'clock at night? Why are we going out to dinner? Why are we going out to lunch? On the flip side of that, and I know a lot of people who watch and can relate. Kula, I know you can relate, and I can't see really who else is looking right now. But when you're building a brand, you're an entrepreneur, and you're doing things, you're going to come in contact with a lot of people of the opposite sex. And when you do, sometimes you have to exchange telephone numbers. Sometimes you may engage in conversations, and it may be after 5 o'clock. It may be on a Saturday. It may be on a day where you're going to sit down and have lunch to talk about maybe a new business venture or something like that. But even with that, you know, as Ashley has said, and I think somebody else said, and it's also in the information that I found today, you have to set those boundaries. Okay, yeah, I know we got to talk, but 11 o'clock, dude, can't be calling my house.
Oh, hell no.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning, can't be calling my house. So you have to set those boundaries because, again, there are some friendships that are unavoidable. If it's your 9 to 5, again, you may have to work closely with someone of the opposite sex. You can't just say, well, my man and my lady don't like me talking to other people. I can't work with dude on this project. What you on about?
2 things real quick. I'm going to respond. Ashley says that your business shouldn't leave the house. I'm selective even with my female friends.
That's right.
That's important. I've had to watch them more than any of my male friends because most males are boundary driven. Most females are not. So once they dip their toe in the Kool-Aid, Lord, it's all in the Kool-Aid. Trust me. They dive in that cup of Kool-Aid. Trust when I tell you. Now the other thing I do want to share with y'all real quick is that one of the first things that my spouse and I did was we talked about this very topic. My wife knows how I am as an individual and as a person. She knows that I meet and I come across a lot of people all the time. There's people that I've met and they've even questioned. My wife was saying like, well, damn, like, you know, he knows a lot of people. He's interacting this, he does that. I personally couldn't be in that relationship because he just knows too many people or he interacts with too many people. Or he knows a lot of females. So my thing is, you know, if I'm going to interact and be out, again, this is just because I need to do this. Not only the business aspect, networking, and things that I do, and even friendships and things that we do. One of the things that I do if I interact and be out with the opposite sex is that we have to meet. My wife was saying that, okay, I need to meet that person first. I would say that it's partially realistic to do. It's going to eventually get done, yes, but them meeting before we meet or before we have any interaction is that's out of bounds. It's not a reality. And if there's going to be rules in place, and make sure that they are reasonable. You know, just as I discussed, there has to be something reasonable so that it doesn't force your mate to make a bad decision, like lie to you, like be somewhere you're not supposed to be because you're going to fuss, argue, and fight over something. So we've moved and gone through those type of things. I talk to her, I tell her, if I want to be somewhere with opposite sex or even with my boys, it don't make a damn difference. It's just letting her know where I'm going to be in case anything happens. And she might want to know, you know, I give her address or give her where I'm going to be, whatever names of people I'm going to be around. That can kind of relax her mind because being a male and a human, we have different things going on with us. So it's not like all the time I'm going to be Chris as a husband, I'm going to be Chris as a friend, I'm going to be this and that and the third. Sometimes I'm Chris Styles, and sometimes whoever that is going to be. We out. The brothers is having fun. things is going to happen. It's just real. It's true. But it's just the point of being open and honest. Talk and communicate with your mate, your friend, or whoever that is. Because eventually them seeing you out and you interacting as well, they don't have no other choice but to be okay or get comfortable with it. Or they just fucking hurt till they can't be hurt no more.
Okay. All right, so Ashley said, where's Eleanor? Ashley said, I hate to agree, Chris, but I do. I tend to gravitate to men for that very reason. I'm too nuts to be defiant to be dealing with messy women. Then not cool. Ashley wanna say, I'm a stay-at-home mom. This man can't afford 6 kids and bail for me. Alright, so Cooler said, I tend to act like one of the dudes when I'm with my homies, but if I'm with my man and I see my homies out, I'm not the tomboy. I'm the lady that's with my man, and they have to respect that. If they don't, then I have to reevaluate my friendship. And it starts with you. If you're the person with the friends, it starts with you. If you're not respecting your lady, if you're not respecting your man, guess what? That person may not respect them either because you're not respecting them. So let me share this one. This was another article, and this was from Dwight Hobbs. So it says, to me, it's a no-brainer. If you can't have such friends, you are, take it to the bank, committed in the wrong relationship, certainly to the wrong person. It's understandable, I suppose, for adolescents to have trouble with that one. Mm-hmm. They are, by default, prone to feeling insecure, overly territorial. In other words, they are still growing up. Mm-hmm. Folk of the other sexual persuasion have a sensibility, a way of looking at life, an attitude towards things, you name it, a dynamic that friends of the same gender do not have. And that's true, too, because there are some things that I want to talk to a man about before I talk to a woman about. Now, I have brothers. I may call up my brother and be like, yo, let me tell you what happened, which is very rare. It's not often. But I may call up Chris and say, yo, I can't believe this just happened. Or something like that. And when Todd was here, Todd was really the person that I would call and say, Todd, let me tell you what happened. Or Todd, XYZ is getting ready to go down, blah, 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 blah. They provide the male perspective in that situation. They may tell me things that my female friends are not going to tell me.
You ain't gonna be able to feed.
So, like with Todd will call, and me and Todd still talk, but Todd will call sometimes and want to get my perspective on certain things. And I'm like, yo, Todd, you need to do X, Y, Z, and blah, blah, blah. So like I said, like this article says, sometimes you want that perspective from someone who is of the opposite sex, because sometimes they provide a different perspective. If your significant other doesn't already have friends, both genders, when you meet, then it is not a good sign. If you think that means I don't have to deal with any threats, you're missing the money. Mm-hmm. What that likely means is he or she attended Eddie Murphy School of Social Interaction and doesn't know how to have a relationship based on friendship, not sex. So that came from one of the movies that he was in.
Boomerang.
Where he said men don't have female friends, just women that they sexed. So that's what that says. And probably is more interested in what's south of the waist than they actually are in you. Alright. So this is the last 2 things from this particular article. Think. That friend was there before you came along. If you don't want whoever to still be there after you've been asked to leave, value that this individual has a special history with your man or woman that you getting bent out of shape isn't going to erase. Don't make the situation be about who's more important, you or the friend. Quit seeing it as a competition, because frankly, as soon as you look at it that way, you've lost. Maybe not even right away.
Goodbye.
If you being so much the love of your partner's life, he or she is blindly smitten enough to distance a friend to make you comfortable enough, you're petty. Spiteful satisfaction while it lasts, because that beloved friend will be missed sorely. And yes, I can't have a man to come into my life and say, yo, I don't think you should be friends with Chris. I don't think you should be friends with Todd, because, I know something going on, or blah, 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 blah. There ain't no reason for y'all to be friends. then me and that person is not going to work out, because me and Chris's friendship goes beyond just hanging out. There have been times me and Chris have gone out, just me and him, several times. He's come over my house and drank wine. I've been at his house, just me and him. We've been out eating chicken wings. We love eating chicken wings at Uptown Alley. You know, drinking wine, chilling, and just having conversations. And so if somebody new comes into my life and say, yo, I can't deal with that, then it's probably going to be time for us not to deal with each other anymore. So, and you have to, I'm going to say this real quick, and you have to assess those things. When you're going into a relationship with somebody and they have friends of the opposite sex, you have to really decide if that's something that you can deal with. You know, Chris and his wife have already had the conversation. Chris has female friends. You know, I have to have that conversation. Yo, this is what I do. I meet dudes. I talk to dudes. It doesn't mean that something's getting ready to happen, but because of what I do and what I've involved myself in, I don't just talk to women all the time.
Facts. You know, one of the things I say too is that a lot of us don't have discipline.
That's true.
And when I'm saying discipline, at an early age, maybe my late teens to I was almost 20, maybe 26, 27 years old. People just didn't have discipline. So many, lived in places, in areas where people were just living life. They was off the chain. No matter what was going on, what type of relationship you had with somebody, this and the third. If the opportunity came, the opportunity was given, you was getting smacked. Your booty gets smacked. Ooh. It's just what it is. In a business of just being out with your woman or being out with your friends, you're going to see or meet that person that you may or may not really find mentally or physically attractive or right, but there's some attraction. I can say do the right thing, but because many don't really understand, or their perception of do the right thing is their do the right thing. It might not be the same as mine.
And that's what you gotta have the conversation.
So again, this is why we talk. You have to communicate to make sure that you have that in order. So that some people say do the right thing is if you have access to it, go ahead and bang that thing out. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? Then other flip side of it was just like, damn, if my partner would be pissed, or if that shit happened to me, I'll be pissed. So I can't really do that. Have some type of empathy for your circumstance of your situation or what you're about to get into, and think that if you do it to somebody, it can happen to you. So if you just put that in perspective, you be like, okay, I'm gonna add some discipline to this joint, and be like, okay, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, but if you want to do that, leave the relationship.
Yeah, if you want to do it,
just
leave the relationship. Or if you want to do it. But
or be receptive to it when your partner goes out and do the same thing.
Right, there you go. And
most times that doesn't happen. But again, if you want somebody to be faithful to you, you've got to be faithful to them. If you're cheating on them, you can't be mad if they start cheating on you. But we ain't talking about cheating. I'm going to read Coolest comment, and then I'm going to read this other article. Usually, men don't want you to have male friends because they think y'all too close to that. Sorry. Or they may want to have sex with you. That's your dude reflecting what he would do, right, or what he does with his female friends. That's definitely a red flag. Or again, he's very insecure. All right, so here's another article. Committing ourselves to a monogamous relationship does not mean forfeiting the experience of being friends with people of the opposite sex. Allowing ourselves to form friendship extends our social network and develops our sense of belonging. It nourishes our need for connection with others, and it aids our personal growth. It is not wrong to have friends outside of our intimate relationship. In fact, it is vital to have friends outside of our intimate relationship. Limiting friendships with opposite sex once you're married doesn't allow you the richness and perspective that you gain from a member of the opposite sex. So what's the problem? This topic often causes disagreements in relationships because of deepening friendship can often enhance our sense of threat to our relationship. Feelings of insecurity, suspicion, and jealousy can easily arise. To avoid these uncomfortable feelings, we have the tendency to want to control people and situations. Controlling our partner's circle of friends does not result in healthy relationships dynamics. Resentment usually builds up and the intimacy begins to suffer greatly. Let me say this.
You come talk
And this is kudos, and I don't think Kay is watching. She was watching earlier. But I'm going to have to say this. Kudos to Kay and Ashley. Those two, I have gone back and forth with those two on this show about comparing marriages and being single. Those are two women who are dedicated to their marriages. Those are two women who are dedicated to their men. And I'm bringing that up because that makes a difference. And Chris talked about this as well. But if you're secure in your relationship is solid. Even if you have a friend outside of your marriage, outside of your relationship, you are not going to allow that to disrupt your household. You're going to know what boundaries to set without your mate having to say, Les, it's 9 o'clock at night. Why is that dude over your house? Or we in the bed sleep, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Yo, why is this dude calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning? See, what you do is you nip that in the bud. Yo, my man is here. Even when my man ain't here. Don't call me at 3 o'clock in the morning. We are friends. You gotta respect my household. You gotta respect my relationship. We cool, but guess where you're not coming? You can't come to Chesterfield. You can't come to Chesterfield and hang out in my house. No, I can't come spend a night at your house. But I'm just saying all that to say, when you have that relationship where you love your partner, you're in love with your partner, and you respect your relationship, all that other shit is secondary. And it's probably not going to happen because you're going to nip it in the bud. You know what works for your relationship and what doesn't work for your relationship. You know what's respectful and what's not respectful. And just like I said, that Ashley and Kay, ever since they've been on the show, I've been in communication with them. Again, those two women love their husbands and they are dedicated to their marriage. And so with them, I can't imagine that they're going to let any man or any friendship with someone come in and disturb what they have. I don't think they would let another man infiltrate what they have with their husbands.
Another thing I want to say about, having friendships sometimes. At a certain point in my life, things that women said to me flew over my head. Like I didn't get it, quite understand it. But now, being who I am right now, I see it, I know, I understand what's going on. And sometimes they shoot some things at you to see what you're going to say or what your hopeful response is going to be. And dudes do the same. And depending on that response, it's like a trail of breadcrumbs. You know how that trail of breadcrumbs eating out there. And sometimes they got that fishing line out there. And sometimes, if you get hooked or, you be out there and you had too many crumbs, they're gonna get you. It's just facts.
Cool said, if I'm worried about my man's new female friend, she's about to be my bestie. All right.
That's funny.
So let me read again. This is some good stuff from these articles. Spouses who have close opposite sex friendships are toying with one of the riskiest and most short-sighted behaviors that commonly lead to infidelity and ultimately divorce. And again, depends on what's going on in your relationship. You got a whole lot of turmoil. It ain't always that hard to be like, thank you for being here, Chris.
Oh, you good?
I know him.
No,
he don't love me no more.
No, he don't. Yo, I love you though.
You want to come upstairs?
I have done that in my life a lot. Sympathy, fucks.
Yep. All right, so we're just friends. While this may be the statistics show that opposite sex friendship contribute towards conflict within relationships and increase the likelihood of affairs and breakups.
He's sorry now.
So it is worth exploring your intentions with both your relationship and your friendship before dismissing the complexities of this situation as an issue that only insecure people have. So, your friendship may not be innocent if you and your friend engage in sexual flirtations, discuss personal, sexual, and otherwise intimate details or experience. That one I don't quite agree with. Because I done had dudes that call me, like my friends, like, yo, I blew shorty back out and blah, 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 blah. Then they'll call me the next day, yo, this other chick hit me up and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yo, you need to slow down. But that one I don't quite agree with. But hide the friendship from your partner. Yes, that can be a problem if you're not discussing it with your mate. Would behave differently with each other when your partner was around. I can remember a time Big Will called me out on something like that. It was a phone call or something. I can't remember what it was. And so, he was like, well, I'm right here. If you answer it when I wasn't there, answer it when I'm here. So, it makes a difference. Like, how are you going to act if that person around or not around? Chris and Todd, I'm the same way all the time. All the time. It's no different. So, like I said, I'm just thinking about some stuff Todd has said to me about things he did with chicks. But anywho.
Let's go to a song that kind of encompass and cover. One of the verses in the song covers this that specifically. That says that, when we first met in the beginning, she should talk to a girl, everybody in front of me, text, all that. Then, one day, she started getting up, going to another room, going outside, texting and talking. Like, what's that shit about? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that about? Okay, you can't talk, you can't in front of me. Yeah, like, I don't want you to know what I'm talking about, what I'm doing, but that ain't gonna happen while we living in the same house.
All right. So you are attracted to each other. You compare your partner unfavorably to your friend. Entertain romantic or sexual fantasies about your friend. Complain about your friendship to your friends. Share secrets with your friend that you keep from your partner.
Come here, girl.
Have been romantic or sexual partners in the past. All right. So let me see, because I think this article is just about done. All right, so here's some friendly boundaries. We talk about boundaries, guys. Nurture your romantic relationship and treat your partner like your very best friend. Again, you gotta show your partner that love,
respect,
that attention, that respect. Don't let your partner feel neglected, because somebody will make them feel appreciated.
They appreciate you so much more.
Yeah.
At least today.
And maybe tomorrow.
And tomorrow.
And Saturday. And next month. So be careful. All right. Ensure your partner knows your friend and stays informed about the relationship. Now, with that, I don't quite agree with that. And the only reason I say that is...
What was that?
It says, ensure your partner knows your friend and stays informed about the friendship. The only reason I don't agree with that is... Yeah, I'm going to introduce you. But damn it, you ain't gonna know about every telephone call. You're not gonna know about every time me and Chris go to Uptown Alley and have Old Bay seasoned wings. You ain't gonna know about every time Chris come over here and we have a glass of wine. You're not gonna know about every event me and Chris go to, every meeting. And me and Chris do a lot of things together. We do more than just EDP 365. We just started an organization, so we have meetings. We just did a photo shoot the other day. So I'm not going to have a laundry list of every single thing that I do. The thing is, I'm almost 50 years old. I don't even tell my mother everything I do. So I'm not about to tell no man, I'm going right here, 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 I'm changing this, I'm doing that. I might say, hey babe, I'm going out for the day. This is what I'm doing. But every time I do something different, I was going to the store, but now I'm going to the restaurant. That shit's not going to happen.
That's ridiculous, yeah.
Respect your partner's concerns and wishes regarding friendship. Yes, respect their concerns about the friendship, but I would say this, don't go overboard. Don't constantly accuse them of things. I know y'all sleeping together. I know y'all did this. I know y'all did that. Again, as the person in the relationship who does not have the friend and you have a problem with your mate, you got to do your part too. And it's not always questioning and hounding and being suspect about every single thing. It has to be balanced. It just can't be that person that has to show you respect, but you have to do your part as well. If the person is telling you, yo, this Chris, we do EDP 365 together, and blah 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 blah, and every time Chris' name come up, you fucking him? Oh my God, are you kidding me? All right, avoid making new opposite sex.
Miles will make a video and show it to him.
Oh my God. And do a live every time we together.
Yeah.
Avoid making new opposite sex friends, especially when you are single. I don't agree with that. Avoid making new opposite sex friends during times when you struggle in your relationship. We said that a while because, again, there's room for infiltration. When there's danger in your relationship, stranger danger might be a good thing in that case.
And more than likely, the stranger feels more comfortable than you.
And yeah, you might open that, come on, lay on my shoulder. All right, address unmet needs and unresolved conflict and resentment within your relationship. And yes, we talk about this all the time. You have to have communication. You have to address what the conflict and what the issues are. Because when you let them fester, when you sweep them under the rug and you don't address them again, that opens up the door for you to talk to Jonathan over here. Yo, Jonathan, this nigga is an ass. I don't say nigga a lot. I say it when I'm mad on him, talking about nigga shit. But he is an ass. You know, and now, my hand's here. Well, Jonathan is like, wow, Sally, I understand what you're...
Look, punch in my head.
So you gotta be careful with that one. Put effort into your relationship and create opportunities for fun, novelty, excitement, and adventure. If you're going to remain in a relationship, do what you have to do in order to make the relationship work. Don't keep trying at your relationship and it's still turmoil and it's chaos and it's confusion and it's never right. Again, you're leaving the door open for infiltration. Nobody wants to be in a situation where it's constant chaos. And again, when that new friend creeps in, because ain't nothing like something shiny and brand new.
Don't want to fight and all
right.
that shit. Nah.
It ain't nothing.
You did that.
It ain't nothing like something shiny and brand new. You get to touch it and play with it and do new things with it that you couldn't do with your old toy. Get your shit together. All right. Maintain solid boundaries with your friends and do not share private, intimate, or sexual details with them. Yes. Maintain boundaries with your friends. And especially if it's a dude or a chick who you know kind of feeling you, but you ain't really feeling them, you may not want to share a whole lot of negative things about your partner.
That's right.
All right, go ahead, Chris, and then I got one more article.
Again, I know sometimes it takes a lot of effort in things you do, but sometimes you have to earn your partner's trust or respect to the point where things is not going to become an issue anymore. But again, like I said last week, and I said a million more times, it's a personal maturation. It's a relationship maturation. And it takes individual work when you have somebody who's been hurt prior to even getting with you or into the relationship. Oh, there's a long line of shit that's trailing behind them, and you don't want to smell it all the time. You don't want to be interactive when you be touching it, putting your feet and all that shit in it. You know, you just want to cleanse yourself of that. But I would say if you're in a relationship with this person, give an effort, give an obligation to try to get that person out of that space that they're in to come into this new space that ain't got included all that shit. You know what I mean? But I earn my mate's respect. Sometimes you have to lead by example and not be the example of what you didn't do by not being the model. Check that out.
All right. So this is the last article, and this is focused on the family. This is where this was found. It's okay to have friends of the opposite sex, but check out Hebrews 10:24-25, New International Version, and let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. God wants us to have friends. He wants us to be in relationship with one another. And I believe That can include having friends of the opposite sex, but those friendships should come with some pretty important stipulations. First, those friends shouldn't be close friends. The sort of friendships that entail a lot of one-on-one contact or where you're sharing intimate details of your life with one another. Again, if it's a new friend, you don't need to be sharing all. If it's somebody you've known for years, it's different. But if you're in your relationship, y'all doing y'all thing, and Jack just spraps out, and Jill just spraps out, now they spending time with each other and they doing stuff, all right.
You know,
Friendships, friendships with people of the opposite sex should be casual friendships. Your time together is infrequent, and when you do see each other, you are guided by strong boundaries that your spouse and you have previously agreed to. I'm going to go back and say this again, because I've experienced this myself. If I meet somebody, they're not going to get a whole lot. I'm being honest with you. Dudes will stop talking. Dudes will stop talking to me because I don't call them. But they're like, Les, I called you. I know, I was busy. I did try to call you back. You never initiate the calls. You never send me. You never send me text messages. Blah, 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 blah. And it kind of just stopped talking to me. So I don't even have a chance to get to anything because they don't even like the friendship.
But that was an ulterior motive behind it in the first place. That's where your assumptions don't come to.
Yeah, like.
You see what I'm saying?
I know, so I'm so awful with the phone. Like, yeah, I know you called me. I'm going to call you back. I'm going to call you back. Second, and really, this should go without saying, those friendships should be completely out in the open. No secrets, no sneaking, no sculling around. If you're hiding a relationship from your spouse, that should set off some serious alarms. Third, not only should your spouse know, your spouse should bless the relationship. Listen to that. He or she should bless the relationship. You need to give your husband or wife a relational trump card. If they feel like the relationship is a problem, then guess what? It is. Except when they're insecure and crazy as hell. Never tell your spouse that he or she is paranoid or jealous. Don't shut the conversation down. Talk it through. Yes, talk it through. But if I've told you 100 times, dude is just a friend, I ain't interested in him, whatever the case may be, if you keep badgering me about that, I'm going to have to cut your ass loose. Talk it through, and if the friendship is a problem, you should end it immediately. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence with that. I think it depends on the friendship. If it's that new dude and now he's stalking you, or it's that chick that's stalking you, you might want to cut that off. If you and your friend have to work together, set some strong boundaries that you and your spouse agree upon. And again, here comes the boundaries again. Make your relationship with your spouse priority. No relationship, even the one you share with your husband or wife, can be your everything. Y'all talked about this earlier. No one person can fill every relational need, but tending to the friendship you have with your spouse should take precedence over every other relationship you have outside the family. And that's what I was saying.
It could be a balance.
When you have something strong, when you love the person that you're with, you start thinking about stuff. You know what? I love this dude too much for another dude to be parlaying in my house. I love this dude too much to be going out and doing blah, 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 blah. And so then you set the boundaries. But then you set the boundaries. And like I said, when you're secure on what you have and you want your relationship to work, you nip stuff in the bud. You set your own boundaries without even having to talk to your spouse. All right, cultivate and maintain the same-sex friendships. Those should make up your closest, rewarding friendships. Build shared social networks with your spouse. Invite your opposite sex friend to dinner along with his or her spouse or guest. Go to baseball games together instead of nurturing a friendship with a woman outside your marriage. Better to befriend a couple where you can all get together and share life and companionship.
What I was laughing at, right? True story. Fine chick. She knew I was married. I just wanted to find out to see where she was at with me, right? So one time, because she was calling me quite frequently, and I was like, oh, something, this is leading somewhere else. I ain't trying to go in the woods, you know what I'm saying? So I started talking about spaceships and Palladians and reptiles and shit. I I start talking about spiritual visitations.
You scared her
Oh,
to death.
scared the shit out of her. She ain't never called back.
She's scared of wanting to be with you out of her. I mean, you scared of wanting to be with you out of her. I'm gonna read the last of this article and I'm gonna share my final thoughts. Be careful about your interactions. Don't take an opposite sex work colleague out to lunch alone, and never take a business trip with him or her if you can help it. If you can't avoid these situations, build some strong. Again, set those boundaries. If you're interacting with the opposite sex friend or colleague online, make sure there's a legitimate reason for the communication. Take honest stock of yourself. Be aware of your own weaknesses. That is important. Be aware of your own weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Don't put yourself in a compromising situation. If you that dude that want to screw every woman that you come in contact with, again, don't put yourself in a compromising situation. If you that chick where you're like, Jonathan, we're at it again. He's so angry. Can you come over for 20 minutes just to hold me and, you know, make me feel warm and comforted? Again, don't put yourself in compromising situations. When you don't put yourself in compromising situations, you don't have to worry about lying about things. You don't have to worry about stuff, okay, he's going to find out, because you're like, damn, I want to. Now, we get tempted. I want to, but let me take my ass to bed. Alright, let's see. Be aware of your own weaknesses and vulnerabilities and heed warning signs that this friendship might be very into dangerous waters. For instance, do you ever fantasize about your friend? Right? And if you know your friend fantasizes about you, you may not be interested in your friend. But if you know he digging you or she digging you, better set those boundaries. Are you exchanging highly personal information with him or her? Are you hiding the relationship in some way? Deleting texts so your spouse won't see them. All right, so here's some guidelines for how you should behave around members of the opposite sex. Sex. How do you feel about opposite sex relationships, friendships in our marriage? How might they be appropriate and helpful? How do you feel about opposite sex relationships at work? When interacting with the opposite sex, what are your expectations of me? And these are things you could be asking your spouse. What rules do you feel are important to have in an opposite sex relationship? I hate the word rules in a relationship. What are our boundaries in our relationship? No friendship, new or old, is worth damaging your marriage. So here are my final thoughts. Don't go anywhere because we got to share some more stuff.
That wasn't your final thought?
I was reading. So those were their thoughts, not mine. All right, so my final thoughts are, know your relationship, know your spouse. Have that communication with them. I love this part when it talked about know your own weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Don't put yourself in compromising situations. Don't do to your spouse what you wouldn't want them to do to you. And having friends sometimes, sometimes you can't get around that. You know, you're not going to be at every turn say, oh, I can't be your friend because my spouse is going to be mad. We can't work on this project at work. Okay, I can't get on this project with you because I can make $1 million with you. No, analyze the situation, make the right decisions. When it's going too far, put a stop to it. Have the conversation with your spouse, but have the conversation with your new friend as well. Chris?
A few things. I love that.
What?
You said, know your weaknesses.
Yep.
There was a certain time in my life, especially when my relationships were in a vulnerable place, it was so hard for me to say no. It was hard. Very hard. Sometimes you gave into that shit just because it made you feel better at that time. But you still had to go through and figure out what the hell you was doing with your current relationship. So, with that being said, know when to say no.
That was no in sign language. I just spelled it.
Set the rules. Again, create barriers, guidelines in these relationships. And sometimes, I always say if applicable. If it needs to be. Because you don't feel like putting out extra effort and all that shit. But sometimes you need to put some shit at the door. Put garlic at the door so vampires can't come through. So, again, if it's a business relationship, keep it professional. I said because sometimes they can become blurred lines if you allow them to. Limit your calls and or exposure with the opposite sex. not unless it's a crazy emergency. Nobody can call me past 10 o'clock at night. I would say
I
not.
can call at 10:01.
I would say 9 on 9,
Can I call at 10:01?
10 o'clock on the weekday.
I'm asking him, y'all, can I call at 10:01? He's ignoring me.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know what that means?
10:02?
like Les would be there's probably like 2 more people that probably could possibly call me at 10:01, and I would be okay with it. But I know that my spouse would not be okay with that. Not unless it was an extreme emergency. Other than that, don't you answer that motherfucking phone, son. Don't answer it. Don't put yourself in tempting situations, especially if your relationship is falling apart or it is failing.
For sure.
That's a recipe for disaster. And then that person may only want you for one thing, and you think it's going to be building up to another thing, and they just toss the garbage
Oh,
up.
wait a minute. You're not going to be able to get rid of their ass.
Right.
Damn.
You got constant leaks. They got
Oh
saber-tooth
my God.
tiger claws in your
I told you we working it out. Stop calling me. We back together. Leave me alone.
Oh, hell no. They latched on. They ain't let go. And again, I would just say this, that you are the guiding light and you are the principle on where your personal relationships, business relationships, and friendships go. So if you look at that and take that principle, wherever you go, you'll be in a great place to be able to sort and find those things out. I would say this last thing. When I was growing up, I was always, they kept repeating this, a grown man do grown things. A grown man do grown things. A grown man do grown things. You know what I found out too? That women can do grown women things too. Piece that out. Les?
All right. You have anything for the men's corner?
I do have something small for Men's Corner tonight. Again, this is just a word of advice. Something that was brought to my attention, not because of me. Over the course of this month, some things are being brought to my attention. And I was like, damn, I really need to address that. Because when you have, I would say this, men, if you commit to something, and if you're not dead or you're not horrifically sick or some shit like that, do what you say you're going to do.
Oh, gosh, yes.
If you
Women
say
too.
that you're going to do something, I don't care if you're tired. I don't care what's going on.
Amen.
Please just go ahead and do what you say you're going to do, whether you feel
Or
like
have
it or
the
not.
damn decency to say I'm not going to do it. That,
Call.
oh, gosh, I hate
Make
that.
a call. Don't ghost. Don't disappear. Don't do none of that.
Good night, Ash.
Just do something that's comparable. Do something, even if you can't make it, just say, hey, I can't make it at this
Yes.
time. I can't do something. Communicate. Talk to these individual people that you are promised to, because I'm telling you,
Yes.
this will lead to
Say
your
it
children,
again.
and it will lead to your girl acting out. And you do not want to become a victim or a hurt person based on what you've given out, because it will come back to your tail.
And it hurts your professional relationships.
Yes,
Please
it does.
stop telling people you're going to do stuff. Things happen. Life happens. But when life happens, pick up the phone. In 2019, you don't even have to pick up the phone. Yo, Les, I can't do it. You don't even got to explain yourself. But let me know you can't do it.
Text.
I know I'm good for it. I'm going to do something. Damn, I can't get around to it. Yo, I ain't forget about you. Give me some time and I'm going to get to it. Or you know what? It can't happen. I'm not going to do it. But yeah, follow through on your word. You say you're going to do something. Do it. Or say you can't. Oh my God, I'm glad you brought that up. That need to be a show. But, again, real quick, I want to thank Rob Baskerville. I want to thank Gigi. Both. And I'm thanking them because they were actually watching the show. I don't know if they're still watching. And thank you to everybody who has donated money for the CNL Woman to Woman Conference. Thank you to everyone who said that they're going to donate something for the raffle. We are still taking money for the $10 brag bags. For $10, you can put your promotional information in our bag. Let me show y'all something real quick. I'm super excited because I see God working in this. Let me show y'all something.
So I gotta do that on Friday.
Let me show y'all something. It's some more stuff over here. But you know what? The other day was like Christmas, y'all. So this is stuff from people who...
I'm taking it home.
Yeah, this is stuff from people who have said that they are donated to the brag bag. They put their $10. They send me their $10 and send me their stuff. This is not all of it. This is all I can carry over here. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Derek Hall, for donating the stuff you donated. These other people, I don't really know everybody. Deborah Fry, Clarissa Law. Thank you, Gigi. Thank y'all so much. So again, if you want to donate to the CNL Woman to Woman Conference, reach out to me. You can call me at 804-424-0337. If you want to
0337.
$10 to put your promotional items in our brag bags. If you want to donate something for the raffle, if you want to gift a ticket, if you want to come to the conference, tickets are $50. We've got 4 speakers. We have 9 vendors. We have 9 vendors. We have 2 exercises. We have provided lunch for you guys. We have raffles. You don't have to spend money for the raffle. If you're coming to the conference, you're going to be entered into the drawing to win a prize. We got some great prizes we're giving away. We've got some great things in our brag bags. So we are super excited. The conference, I ain't want to knock nothing over. The conference is on next Saturday here in Richmond, Virginia at the 4 Point Sheraton on Laburnum Avenue from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. This is going to be a great conference. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a great day for you to come together, network, collaborate, and build new business relationships. And so in order for us to, oh my gosh, hey Yolanda Moore. Y'all, I had to just, I worked with her about 10 years ago. Oh, hey Yolanda. But this is going to be a great conference. But in order to make the conference a success, we need you all to participate and help us in it. Thank you to everyone who has purchased tickets already. Thank you to everyone who has a part in making this day a success. This is our first conference, so we are working hard to make this day a great one. Can you put my phone number here? Again, reach out to me if you want to participate in some way, 804-424-0337. No donation is too big or too small. Again, if you want to donate one item, we will take it and we will give it away in the raffle. So we'll do something like, let's say this is Chris's book. We're not just going to say, hey, you just want a book. No. Hey, you just want a book from Chris Allen. He's an author. The book is called Open Wounds, and it's about blah, 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 blah. His social media information is, and here's your prize. So that's what we're doing. So again, please you all come out and support what we're doing. Real quick, Blinged Out Party, the first Blinged Out Party in Richmond. First one in Richmond was on Saturday, what month is it? July 13th at Bar Louie. It was a success. People love their blinged out t-shirts. There's another one coming. If you're interested in that, let me know. Nothing like having your own blinged out t-shirt when you make it. And the blinged out t-shirt party is just like a paint party, except you're making a t-shirt. Well, somebody else made this for me. This is not for blinged out. Somebody else made this. Alicia Johnson actually made this. But when you come to a blinged out party, you're making your own blinged out t-shirt. And the ladies had so much fun. Anybody who knows Gwen Jefferson, you can reach out to Gwen. Gwen was at the Blinged Out Party. And so a lot of those are going to be coming up, so you don't want to miss it. Those are going to be great. Let me say this real quick, and we're going to close out, because I got work to do for the conference. I was supposed to be off of EDP 365 Facebook Live. Don't forget to celebrate your victories, large or small.
Thanks. I do want to say, again, I give blessings to the Creator for He just continues to open doors for me. He knows my heart. He knows my mind. He knows what I want to do. He knows my intent. He knows my goals. And it just seems right now that I'm on this cloud or this wave, and He just riding with me, right now. Definitely, I want to give a shout out to Antonio Scales, who is giving me the opportunity to speak on this platform. On what a man wants from a woman. This is Monday, August 12th, here in Richmond. For whatever reason, I can't remember the total address of this, but I will get back to you. It's at 7:15 p.m. And more info will be following in regards to that. So I do have be a part of a speaking engagement in regards to what a man really wants from a woman. And again, this is from different platforms that I've spoke in regards to on relationships, and just in regards to my own personal ish. You know what I'm saying? We're always in a place, I'm always in a place of learning and growing, and the people around me are always in a place of learning and growing and how to get better at these relationship aspects in our lives and what we really want from each other. So with that being said,
real quick, El Bravador. I don't know if you all saw it. I told him to post it because he posted something, sent something to me earlier today.
it was a link.
Yeah, make sure y'all check out. I think he's got a show coming on. Y'all, please continue to support El Bravador. He is a legend icon here in Richmond, Virginia. So please support him. You can actually go to his page, which is Finley Bradford. Let me see if I can put it in real quick.
Finley Bradford, yes.
Yeah, Finley Bradford. Please support El Bravador and what he's
And his
doing.
brother's working in, you know, I do want to say, I'm sorry. Sometimes when I get tied up in my own things, sometimes I lay things down or forget what I'm supposed to do. I was been supposed to got back with Finn and done some things and donate, because the causes of things that he's doing is really what he's doing. And, you know, I missed out on some things in regards to that. So I do want to say I'm going to give out a public apology in regards to that. But whatever that's open now or whatever you have, I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do when I say I'm going to do it. It's just that sometimes things take a little bit of time. Things happen. Again, we human beings, but at the same time, support this man. Support Les.
Thank you.
Again, support myself.
Such a long list.
And a lot of these things support. Look, I do got to give it up to Mark Do Right, Sugar McMills, damn, why can't I think of this? These people are very common. Lush Berries and Treats on Altoona Drive, Altoona Street Avenue. Over by the boulevard. Again, these people, and there's some gentleman next door, some businesses next door to her. The older people are very gracious. They were very wonderful in how they treated all the models and the people who were out there for the pop-up fashion show at the event that just passed this Saturday from 2 to 5. It was a very wonderful experience. It was great. Some things did happen, but again, we focused together, we moved through it, and everything turned out wonderful. Again, I want to thank all the models. I want to thank everybody who came out to support. And definitely, I know I'm going back over to Lush Treats and Berries. I'm going back over there very soon to go ahead and get my fill, because the stuff was banging. It was very good. Again, Mark Do Right, Visionary Clothing Line, staff, everybody. Peace, love. And again, I will say this too. Continue your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations. If you have not thought about how you're going to do it, how you're going to achieve it, your intent is always the first thing. You always need a plan, whether it's a small plan or just write something down, put it in motion, and get it done. And again, you put that energy and time doing what you need to do. Again, the Creator is going to support and follow you in regards to that and put you in the right places with the right people so that those things can happen. It's happened to me. It's continually happening to me. And so that's my word of advice and things to do. So with that said, from Team EDP 365, again, we love you. We're on Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. on EDP Facebook Live. Again, hook up with us. And with that being said, we out. We love you. Peace.